we back, y'all. Hey, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy, James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not going to happen, but that's okay. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Mrs. Best. She took a little step away from her computer, but you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to her channel. Any reviews or recaps that I do not cover on my channel will be on her channel to cover them. So far, we have on her channel, basketball-wise, we have Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. We don't know if Love and Hip Hop Miami is coming back, but we'll be here for that. We also just did Real Housewives of Miami not that long ago, so you can watch the playback if you didn't catch us live. And then also we have The Valley, which is moving to their reunion here pretty soon. So we have lots of shows that we cover on her channel, just like we have on my channel some shows. And this is one that I don't know if I was excited to have come back, but we'll see once we recap this episode. And while you're subscribing to Mrs. Best, we also ask that you subscribe to Shana_MCD's channel. She's trying to get her channel remonetized. She has 2 channels, a backup channel, and then her current channel. We want to spread love to Shana, get her some eyes on her show, get some subscribers subscribe to her channel. She does great work. She also does these reality TV shows. I don't know if she picked up Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'll ask her as soon as I see her. So, we'll make sure we catch that for her, but subscribe to her channel. So, Love and Marriage Huntsville, y'all. I didn't know how I was going to, I knew I was going to recap the show. I got to give a disclaimer. I'm over here jumping ahead. Hey, Kevin Reynolds, thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much. I'm going to read your comment in just a second. I got to give a disclaimer before I forget. So, you guys, unfortunately, I had got injured at work and I have to go into immediate surgery. So I will be taking a little bit of a break from my channel, unfortunately, this week, and I don't know about next week. But for sure, this week, I will not be on my channel after Monday. So I do apologize. I know you guys are looking forward to the recaps and everything. But directly, I will not be on my channel for about a week. And I also will be gone from Mrs. Best channel for about a week as well due to my surgery. But I plan to be back as soon as I can. Prayers are definitely appreciated because this will be my very first surgery. I made it to 35 and never had to have surgery in my life. So this will be my very first one. I am extremely nervous. So hopefully it goes well. But thank you guys for your support, your love. I definitely appreciate it. And I'm hoping that my life can continue back to a greater normal than what it once was. So, definitely reach out to hands prayers for me. But anyways, I'm going to read Kevin Reynolds' comment now that I have got off my soapbox and gave y'all my disclaimer. So, Miss Mel, I'm glad the cast has to now step up and put acknowledgments of their lives, period. I don't think they're going to do it. I'm going to be honest with you, Kevin. I don't think they're going to do that at all. I think they're going to run behind somebody else and make them the scapegoat. And I feel like they're already setting up the season to do so. Had no plans watching this season yet. I was curious to watch the episode. More importantly, I wish you all the best with your surgery and wish you a speedy recovery. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm hoping so as well. Praying because I definitely not looking forward to my next 3 months. I'm just not. But the episode opens up. We see Marcel and Letitia. They're in the kitchen. Letitia is cooking with the youngest one, Mila. Her son, NJ, had on his do-rag in the kitchen. They're like, take that off. I don't like that either. That's not a look. When I have kids, that is absolute no. That is only for when you go to sleep. But they're talking, and he's about to go. Their son, MJ, is about to go off to college. And I'm like, damn. Time really does fly. It really does. And then we get a drum beat, a doom 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 doom, and we see this Buick drive by, and I'm like, Lord, who is in that car? Please don't let it be who I think it is. And as soon as she got out that car, all I saw was spritz and the rap, and I said, yep, surprise, surprise, it's Miss Wanda. So y'all know Melody is no longer on the show, and that's what was keeping Miss Wanda away from the show was Melody. So now Melody is gone. Miss Wanda then made her return back. So Miss Wanda comes in, and Marcel is sitting on the sofa, and she goes, I'm going to sit right next to you, Marcel. And she said, you can move if you want to. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to move because I got to keep my enemies close and within eyesight of myself. And she goes, whatever. And she goes, you run just like you run to Martell, like Martell. What'd you say, Mrs. Best? Wait till Wanda learns she was not missed, right? Because I definitely didn't miss her. But oh, hey, Kiwan, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So Miss Wanda gets straight to the point. She really do. Hey, Shana, thank you for coming in. Shana, put in the chat if you covering this show on your channel because I kind of spoke out of term. I don't know if you covering the show or not. I mean, being that it has been 10 seasons of the show, the sun is going to cause sounds about right. Child, I felt like that was a little boy last time I saw him because all I can remember was the peanut allergy and Marcel not knowing that. I just remember that vividly. He was such a little boy then. It's crazy how much time has flied.
Thank
Um,
God for his mama. He's still alive.
I, I missed her as well. I did. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm just lying with y'all. I did not miss Miss Wanda at all. Her and that spritz. I'll do it this episode. All right, y'all. Shayna spoke, so she is covering the show. So, let me go ahead and get back to it, y'all. So Miss Wanda immediately asked Marcel, so what was that Martell said with that young lady and everything? I need to know. What was, did you do something, Marcel? And he goes, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna go there. She goes, Marcel, you gonna stop playing with me? It was either a yes or it was a no. Which one is it? He goes, what was my answer? She said, you said some of it. I don't need your response to that. He goes, exactly. That is my response. She said, Marcel, you gonna stop playing with me? See, I got you. I got your number. I know how you play. I know all of that, Marcel. So you gonna stop playing with me. And you gonna stop playing with my family because we have to take over the repercussions for this, Marcel. I can't believe you out here with Martell and y'all still doing around this foolishness. And I'm sitting over there looking at Tisha, and I'm like, girl, if you don't get your mama off this camera, I mean,
Things like this, I would love to point out to everybody, things like this destroy marriages. The Bible says to leave your parents and cleave to your spouse. It don't say nothing about leaving your parents to bring them with you around your spouse to make their life hell. The Bible says that your spouse is supposed to come number one. So does the Quran, the Torah, and every other good book that's out there. So I don't understand why people do this. You are the boundary. You are literally supposed to become the wall between your crazy ass parents and your spouse. My mom is like this with my husband. Bless his heart. Back when I was dealing with her and all of that, my mom behaved just like Miss Wanda with my husband. I put myself there. I say, you need to leave him alone and worry about husband number 3. That's what you need to do. Had to tell it, but sometimes you have to tell your parents appropriately and respectfully if possible, like, you're not gonna do that. If you're gonna do that, then you're not gonna be allowed over here. Because it's one thing to be on the side of your daughter and encouraging her, like, stand up for yourself, leave this man, I think he's cheating, how many rumors are you gonna deal with, versus the mama sitting there grilling her husband, which is really what Tisha should be doing on this camera of the show that she's been on for 10 fucking seasons, trying to hide every single piece of her and Martell's problems. She's too
it's real
grown for
shame.
that. Your
It's real
mama is
shameful.
not your mouthpiece.
And she could sit there. That's why she was there quiet. That's why she was sitting up there with that cup, just quiet. And I'm like, okay, so you're gonna do one or two things. Either you're gonna tell your mama, hey, mind your business. I got my household. What did you come over here for? And if that was it, nuh-uh. We good. We ain't got to worry about that. I'll handle that from here. Or she could say, listen, it's Martell being Martell, and he's trying to retaliate and he's using lies. Like, I don't understand what you don't get about that. Like, there's nothing that man says is authentic. So why are you feeding into it, Wanda? Like, and that's where I kind of am with it. I kind of feel like, Wanda, if you was gonna come back on this show and do all of this, I kind of feel like at the end of the day, let your daughter speak. Let your daughter speak, and then if she needs your support, then you be there to support her, because then we will all resonate with that better. Then you just coming over here and grilling this grown ass man about something that his own wife. And as I said, we don't know what happens behind closed doors. Tisha may have called her mama and said, "Mama, I can't believe this man did this and got me looking." She may have did that. We don't know. We
But that
honestly
doesn't
don't know.
matter. That doesn't matter. The relationship between myself and my parents is that. If my
Yes.
husband builds a relationship with both of my parents, one of them, that is that. But it's the relationship should not involve discussing the spouse. Like, you expect your kids to call you if you're a parent once they're older to complain about what they go through here and there. Just like you go to a friend and complain about your spouse. But your parents, They should just give you advice, ask you, well, what happened to the old school parents? Kind of like, well, what you want to do, baby? You want some
Right.
biscuits? You want me to watch the kids so y'all can get some alone time? That's all that Miss Wanda should be doing. I hate parents like this because she is getting involved in the relationship of Tisha and Marcel, whatever's left of it. And she probably contributed to their relationship not being so great. Like some parents that expect their kids to like be there for them whenever they snap their finger or blink, when those kids are now in a committed relationship, even if it's not a marriage, that's unrealistic. And Miss Wanda gives me like, she has to be right alongside Tisha for her support, her success, her everything. Like she doesn't understand the boundary. She just doesn't. It's like she want to be on TV. Because why, lady? You're too old for that.
Absolutely. That, and I 100% agree with that. It is crazy. And Tisha, get your mama. Because I don't know if I can deal with that this season. I don't know. Is there anything else
I
you
wish
want to
Marceau had a ratchet mama that would go cuss her ass out.
They need to bring their parents on the show for a few reasons. Because I need to understand this.
Have they never been on the show?
I don't recall. I don't. I know a lot of their brothers have been on the show, but I don't recall their parents ever being on the show, and they need to, because I need to understand where they get this whole, hypnotic, counseling that they like to spew out their mouths, him and Maurice, because it's like they try to confuse you, so you start talking about the situation. They do that word gymnastics all the time, and it gets on my nerves. And speaking of word, do you have anything else you want to add before I move on to the next scene?
No.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the new. What did Kevin Reynolds say? On the new intro, ain't it? More importantly, why is Destiny in the middle? Carlos forever trying to make fetch happen with her as though Destiny is Portia of Love Marriage Huntsville. Knock it off already. We're gonna get into Destiny in a minute because trust me, I don't like Destiny. So we definitely going to get there. This Scott's father has on the show, but I don't remember that. Like, and I feel like I need to. I don't know.
I didn't watch. I'm only here for James, y'all. I apologize if I am not astute in the history of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I only started watching whenever James went on YouTube to do it.
Right. I wasn't going to do this show to begin with. But people said, no, please do the show, because I did Love and Marriage Detroit first. So I said, no, please do it. I said, okay, the first Martell fan that jump at me, I promise you, this is going to be done. So far, none of them have come on to.
I haven't seen any Martell fans like since we've been
they're
on
out
YouTube.
there.
I think I've seen like
him.
One that came on your channel, and for some reason, people love to tell me, a very dark-skinned African woman, that I'm a dark-skinned hater. So one of them did that, and then I saw like one on Instagram somewhere, but the poor girl got attacked. So I don't really see Martell fans.
Well, when this show first came on, it was all Martell. Melody was the person at fault. It was crazy.
They come out at night, kind of like vampires.
Probably. But anyways, moving on to the next thing, we have a scene with Maurice and Kimmy. Monster is about to go to college, and they're looking at schools. He's considering to University, Ole Miss, and Troy. So they're talking to him about. Right, exactly. Although I don't make no money on YouTube, that's the thing. We need to get more subscribers. Tell everybody to subscribe to me so I can make money on the show, because this is a lot of work to be doing, especially in my time of need. But moving on, they begin having a conversation about him making judgment decisions and everything, which I feel like is fine. Parents definitely need to have this conversation. But where this conversation took a left turn, that I was kind of like, oh, okay, Maurice, this is where you missed me. He was like, so did you hear about my DUI situation? And he goes, yeah, like through some of my friends. And Maurice was like, okay, what happened in response to that? And Monster looks at him and goes, I don't know. He goes, well, the case was dismissed. And that's what I'm talking about. You can't always listen to what people say, because the fact that it was a judgment dismissed, which could be anything, by the way. Maurice, thank you for trying to play on words here. But the fact of the matter is, it was a judgment dismissed and everything. So, people are going to talk about you and everything, and you need to be prepared. Now, I do agree with that. People are going to say, the craziest, outlandish things about you, especially because your parents are public figures on TV. But at the end of the day, they wouldn't have to do all that had you not did what you did either. So he's talking about the case is dismissed. It was dismissed. I didn't look it up, but it could have been dismissed for a lot of reasons. But I want him to play on the moral fact that just because it was dismissed doesn't mean you didn't do it. So I want you to be very, very clear on that. Just because the case was dismissed does not mean you didn't do it and that you weren't caught doing it. And that whatever it was that you were running from did have speculations. So, Maurice, you can play on those words all you want to. And
It
I'm
could
about
be as simple as the officer that pulled him over not cooperating or showing up to court. Like it could literally be something so simple. The other thing also is it could have just been dismissed because you contested too much shit, which can then present for there to be like a lack of evidence. So Maurice thinking that I didn't like how he even used his kid as a like segue to
yes.
discuss what everyone wanted him to discuss, especially after being accused of not being open. Like Maurice and Kimmy, I think more than anybody on this show, to me, seem to be like the most dishonest.
Mm,
I think they got the most secrets, even more than Tisha and Marsal. I really do.
absolutely.
Uh, and so I'm just looking at them like you're using your kid as a way to get out of this, which is this gross. It's gross. And then that's when we see, like, okay, you're an attorney and there's a reason why. Because you move just like one.
Yep. The male Phaedra. I promise you. This is exactly who we looking at. Howdy, Shani. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Kevin is killing me with that word salad. Because that's exactly what that is. I mean, it really is. So as Monster excuses himself from the room, Kimmy and Maurice begin talking. They're talking about her restaurant that is not open yet, and that Marcel is doing, the contracting on that. And Kimmy said he is moving way too slow. Like he has a lot of projects. He does good work, but he's just moving way too slow when it comes to where she wants to be because this restaurant is, her dream. We also learned that Kimmy is back in real estate doing commercial properties, which is great. And then they bring up the messy part. So they bring up Chris Fletcher. And now he had that conversation. It was with Melody. They blurred her out because she's no longer on the show. So personally, it was funny because I was like, y'all could have showed Melody. But I get, once again, she don't want no attachment to the show anymore. So I totally get why they didn't do it. But basically that conversation was Chris had mentioned, giving advice to Martell. And then he says, with the NDA thing, he don't sign on NDAs. That's more of a Maurice and Marceau thing. And so Kimmy was like, so does that happen? And so Maurice was like, I have never made anyone sign on NDA. And it was like, he was like, no, that's the wrong answer. And she was just tickled. And it was like, either you know what he be doing and you don't care, or you're really not that smart. Because he just openly said nobody. That wasn't even, not only was that not the question, his response is, I've never cheated. Not once, have no desire to. That should have been the answer right there. Or, but that goes to show there's definitely more on the surface, like Mrs. Best said. There's definitely more to this couple than we are seeing on TV that is seeping through the cracks. See, he's not good at that word salad, as Kevin Reynolds calls it in the chat, like Marceau is. He's not as good at it because he gives himself away every time. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Kimmy's response to that and what happened in that scene?
Do you want my YouTube answer or the Amina answer?
I want the Amina answer first, if I can ever get that out of you. Absolutely. I want my best friend's answer. And then you can turn it into Mrs. Best after you get the Amina answer. What is the Amina answer, Mrs. Best?
Kimmy know that nigga be cheating. And honestly, I feel like she probably got something going on the side too. I feel like he don't know that she know. He does not know that she know that he be doing stuff. I feel like they have issues in their marriage. It's not funny. Like, that's not funny. Because if it realistically, like being married, in my opinion, when it comes to rumors, I believe when there's smoke, there's fire. So the rumor did not just come out of nowhere. You don't just hear people saying, oh, I saw At the corner store with this young fellow away from Mr. Herbert. Like, you don't just hear that. Like, you just don't. So I feel like this has been a thing. I feel like Kimmy fights to like protect Maurice in like the most toxic ways. But the way that she handled that, like laughing it off, like you really think that's the right answer, was bad. Because as quiet as it's kept, if I was on TV, I wouldn't give a fuck about a camera. If I ask you something as it pertains to you being with another female or male or whatever the hell could potentially be going on, and you don't answer me directly, we got a problem. We have a serious problem.
No, but they like to give word salad and all this. They like to try to confuse your mind and try to make it seem like, well, I'm giving you
I
the.
expect her to bullshit when she's around the other women or other people on the cast. But if I see a scene with just her and Maurice, I expect her to handle her business and address him. And she's not doing that. Like, she
She's
just
not going
laughs
to
it
do
off.
it, and that's the thing. She's not going to do it. I'm with Shana on this. I don't think Kimmy got a side piece either. Yeah, she's too much of a pick me, but also I just feel like I feel like she's the type of person, because y'all understand her and Miss Nell are around the same age. And
Yep.
back in those times, women just needed to be married. You need to have some attachment to some man in order for society to, aesthetically choose you as like, okay, like you have some type of value on this earth. Because that's how they treated you. You always had some auntie like, you ain't married yet. Where your man at? And it's better for them to be married than to be alone. Even though she started out single mom and everything, it's crazy because there's no way you're looking at this bald headed ass man sitting next to you and accepting an answer when the simple answer is no, I've never cheated on you, so there will be no purpose of anyone signing an NDA because it's not there. So let me
I just
see.
didn't like how she handled it. Like, all Maurice had to say, like, even if it wasn't a yes or no, like, babe, see, that's why I'm gonna have to talk to him, because I don't want my woman being concerned because I'm affiliated with that. Like, he could have took so many routes, but instead he
I'm
chose
just
not to
saying.
answer it. Like, if people are already alleging and feeling like the Scots in general on both ends and sides are liars, they full of shit. So half of what they say we don't believe anyway as an audience, which I know they're aware of, then just tell us the truth about what's really going on in these relationships. Kimmy can go. I can't stand her. I did watch season 1 of this show. And then at like midway through season 1, I was like, absolutely not. I can't do this. But Kimmy, I did like her back in the day. I cannot stand her now. Why are you here if you're just going to protect this man? That's your only storyline, and no shade. Now that she's not dealing with like the cancer stuff so much anymore, you have to show something else.
We have to say allegedly, Kevin Reynolds, when we put stuff out here like this, because I know what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, I got to say allegedly to protect my channel because they have not come forward to say that they are. But it wouldn't surprise me one way or the other. Why should he give the politically correct answer? It's not like Kimmy will leave.
Damn, Shana.
Honestly, I think he could have said, yeah, I cheated on you. And she still would have stood there in that kitchen and laughed.
It wasn't funny.
It wasn't. I was looking at her like, wow, I feel disrespected. And it's not even my marriage. I used to like Kimmy, not so much. I don't like, I stopped liking her. What season did Tiffany leave? I'm trying to think. It was 2 seasons ago, right? That's when I stopped liking her. I stopped liking her in that season because I kind of felt like, okay, something wrong with you. And I can't figure out what it is. But we're going to move on, y'all, because that's enough. I don't feel like, the male Phaedra and his parent. I don't feel like talking with them right now. So moving on from there, we have the scene that was really, really stupid to me, and I don't know why we had to have it, but this is a scene where Kim meets up with Marquez. See, here we go. Here we go. We're gonna save this comment for the end, Kevin Reynolds. I gotta do a show here. But so we have a scene with Marquez and Ken. They're talking, apparently in LA when they were going at it at the reunion. They decided to actually have an adult conversation and then some point agreed to be cordial and make up. So they're meeting today because, Marquez wants to progress even more with, them being a unit and actually getting along, maybe take family trips, and then he says, I would like to get to a good place with Trish. And Ken shuts that down right away. He goes, look, Trish don't trust you. So it's going to be hard for her to come around to the other side. And he's like, well, how long do you think it's going to take? Because I really, think I'm back in Huntsville full time. I want to be with my kids. How long do you think it's going to take for her to come over? He goes, you just got to let her move to the beat of her own drum. And I'm looking at these two idiots like, I can't with y'all. So, Mrs. Best, how did you feel about this whole Kid and Marquez meetup? Was it weird to you two, or was it something you thought was great?
Ken don't have no business meeting with Marquez. You're not married to her. You're not engaged to her. You're nothing. You just a side nigga right now. You are whatever the male version and term for a mistress is for a guy. That's what you are. You are what we hide under the bed and nothing more. So I am sick of Ken and his steroid taking ass, allegedly. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him. He wants to look like that guy and like, yeah, I'm the protector. Nigga, you look like Captain Save-A-Ho, and you seem like the type of nigga that prays on females who belong to somebody else and is trying to figure it out. Like, so I don't like Ken. I don't like Ken. And all of this whole shit feels like it's for the TV. And I don't like, that's my biggest pet peeve with television. Like, not everything needs to be shown to me on TV. Like, not everything needs to be shown. In real life, this should not be shown to us. I think Trish and Marquez will eventually, like, even if it's 40 years down the line, they probably gonna die next to each other together.
Yep. This reminds me, there's a Lifetime movie out there. I promise you there is. Where a man got with this woman to get with her husband. I promise you this is what this reminds me of. If it doesn't exist, I said it here first on Watch Your Mouth Reviews Lifetime. I want my check. But I promise you there's a Lifetime movie network out there where there was a man who got with a woman to get with her ex-husband or something like that. I promise you this is the energy that Ken is giving. Because it's like,
that's why he works out so much. I think a piece of him does enjoy exercise and fitness, but I think another piece of him wants to be as big as he can because this nigga knows, because Trish is not the first married woman he has done this with. So he knows what he's doing. He's still got a connection to the ex bitch. The last one he did it with through her daughter, because that wasn't his biological child. So this is weird. This is fucking weird. I think it's the weirdest thing you could do when you play with people's kids. And Ken seems like the type of dude that will come in, let you vent about your problems. Next thing you know, he's friendly and so good with the kids when he's around. Then you let him hit. Now he just keep coming back like a damn flea or tick. I do not like Ken. I'm going to be irritated this whole season, James.
I am too, because to me, it's giving sexual tension for me. Is given, if I didn't know any better, Ken, you want that man. If he would, the woman that you claim to be, because it doesn't make sense. Like, you should have nothing to do with this situation. This should be strictly between Trisha and Marquez. And if
you're not a stepfather just because your wallet does anything. I could cash app anybody in the comments who got kids right now once a week. That don't make me a parent or a parental figure. Like, anybody could do that. So I don't like him. And like Kevin said, he threw everything in her face last season. Everything that he did, he threw in her face, and he's still talking about he's a natural protector. Blah, 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 blah. I don't like this guy.
It's given, for me, like I said, it's too much, because you're fodder. You don't matter. You're not married to the lady. You're not engaged to the lady. Yes, you live in a house with her, with her children, but it's not up to you to go to her husband and tell him, hey, you doing a shit job as a dad. I'm here picking up the pieces and I'm here to assist you. It's the things like that that make me feel like, what are you really trying to do here, sir? What are you really trying to do here? And yes, Shana, I said it. I'm sorry. That kind of energy, if I did not know better, I would have said that this man wants Marquez, not Trish.
I think you way off with that. I think Ken, like, genuinely, I think that he himself needs like therapy or something. I think with him, it's a game. I think with him, he's somewhat turned on by the chaos and the drama and the mess of the situation. Because realistically, he's the only one in the situation who could easily walk away.
Exactly.
Yeah, he chooses to deal with the drama. So I don't think it has anything to do with Trish, the kids, or Marquez, I think doing this is a way that helps Ken feel better about himself.
But
But
okay, but here's my thing. But why? Why would that make okay? Why would another woman's baggage? Because that's really what this is in the situation. If he's coming into it, why would you really want to glorify that for your own wants and needs? That's to me. That's what makes me feel like. Thank you, Kevin. Finally, we agree on something. Because I'm sorry, there's no way. And I think a lot of women don't want to put that on men like that, but I'm sorry. There's nothing that in this situation to me that makes me feel like he's just doing this because he's looking out for Trish. When he doesn't have anything, he shouldn't have anything to do with this. That's why I'm
I
saying
don't know if he wants Marquez or any of that. But what I will say that I think we agree on, I don't think he even liked Trish all that much.
I don't think so either, which makes me feel like the fact that you're getting this emotionally invested in whether or not this man shows up or not is crazy to me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not way off on this. I really do feel like I don't think he'll ever admit it. I don't think he'll ever like, okay, hey, I want Marquez. I don't think he'll ever do that because we grew up in a misogynistic kind of very much got shunned upon in the Black community. But what I'm saying is that to me, it's really weird that you are more invested emotionally than the woman you're with, and that's her husband. Yeah. Why did he do it before? He just wants to conquer her.
I'm
But that
telling
doesn't
you,
make
it's competitive. No, it like if we look at it, because I don't want to. It's a tough. Okay, I'm not a counselor yet, so do not take anything I'm saying too hard. I have to say that, otherwise they won't consider me so serious. But there is a such thing as a superhero complex, and it would make sense that if Ken, whatever he went through in life, or if he's insecure, whatever it may be, the way that he goes about and has this pattern with dated women who aren't available to him, it definitely seems like Shana said he just wants to conquer them, win something, but it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with the women. I feel like he's just trying to make himself feel better about it. Like people, like that's why psych is so fascinating. Like people will really do some weird or effed up shit just if it makes them feel good or serve something that the rest of us may not understand because we all sane in the mind. But for Ken to have done this, if Trish was the first married woman, I might be like, oh, maybe he's gay or something. But he's done this over and
I'm not
over.
saying the
Like
man gay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the man is gay. I'm saying the man literally, okay, this is what I'm saying. I get where you're coming from, and Jay Alexandria, I get your comment because I do agree it's that too. But at the same time, this to me, I've only seen one form of version of this. And the form of version that I've seen in superhero complex is when the man goes out and buys the single woman a brand new car because she's getting on the bus with 4 kids. Or she's short on her rent and he's coming through with the big old check to pay it. I'm not like it's usually a monetary thing when I've seen the superhero complex. I don't see the superhero complex where he's going out of his way to go talk to my husband because at the same point, me and my husband are not making headway.
because the complex doesn't just apply to Trish singularly. It applies to the whole situation as a whole. He probably, but that's how it works. He probably views talking to Marquez as a way to look like he's the even bigger and better person and man in the situation because he's trying to make peace. He's doing what Trish and Marquez could not do. So I feel like Ken is the biggest red flag. Trisha Marquez, they're problematic too, but I personally think they still want each other. And if she would just sit on it one more time, even if it's just for 35 seconds, I feel like they could both release some tension or some anger. But Ken is definitely in this for self-serving purposes. Trish is so blinded by her anger towards Marquez, and he's so busy trying to prove himself to Trish in the audience that they're not paying attention to the problem, which is Ken, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ken does not have to kick you. Yeah, Kevin Reynolds, you and I are here. We see it. I see it very clearly. But hey, it is what it is. My Dimples on Demand is here. I missed you. Thank you so much for being here, my love. Thank you. He can't have kids allegedly. He wants someone else's family. You can create a whole damn family. You can adopt. and do all this kind of stuff because them still would not be your kids, sir. Yeah, so no. Um, think about it. When he got into it with Trish last season, he started to tell her how he paid for everything and telling the guys how he could easily walk away. This is
Uh-huh.
why I don't believe it's superhero complex. That's actually why I don't think it's that. This exact reason, because yes, he could walk away, and by him throwing that in her face, the real superhero wouldn't do that. The real superhero would do it just because he could and never mention it again. Because
But some
superheroes
of
are not
them
supposed to
do
be
do
undercover
it.
villains.
You have to understand that complex is not always going to show in the same form. There are a lot of people who would also view it in the way that she stated it. He's got something wrong with him.
Yeah, no, we agree on this. But like I said, it's weird that he's stepping up to confront her husband on him being a father. To me, that's not the same thing as a superhero complex. I'm sorry, that's not. That's not the same thing to me. He wants people to think that he's in control, so he's telling Marquez how it's going to be instead of Marquez as a father letting Ken know
That's
his
right.
growth.
Manipulation.
Um, yeah, I agree with this to an extent. He does want the control, but Marquez did step up and say how he wants this to go. It was the most illogical, way of being, but he did do it though. So it's like, yeah, it was illogical as hell, but okay, yeah, he did do that. Exactly. He's stepping up monetarily and he loves throwing in her face, which is not superhero syndrome. I'm trying to tell y'all, that's not it. Trish doesn't want to let the lifestyle go, but she really wants her husband back. And I think that's what it is too. I think that's what it is as well. I think that she does want him back, but like I said last season, if you guys go back and watch my show, I think that Trish wants Marquez to do the things that Ken does, and vice versa. I think she wants Ken to do what Marquez can do, and that's probably in the bedroom because he toxic. Marquez is toxic, so I could. It's probably really good. It's probably really good. I get the Terry again. It's throwing it back in Trisha on Mad Day, not cool at all. And that's why I said I don't think it's the superhero complex because you wouldn't do that if
You
that's
guys
really
have
what
to
you would do.
understand, even with superhero complex, they can still throw what they've done back into their face as a tactic to protect themselves. It may not make sense, but that is actually very common within that. I promise you it is. But either way, with Ken, I think everyone agrees like his motives are fishy as a whole. He seems to want to fix their problems. He does.
He
That's why
does,
he's
and that's why I'm
together.
saying it's like,
But
but
you
that
also
doesn't mean
can't want
so.
to fix something more than the people who are actually involved. And like if Ken were normal, he would see that, step back, and mind his business. But
That's what I'm saying. Like to me, I feel like it's more motive. It may not be my crazy motive of what I just put out there, but at the end of the day, it's something. I don't know what it could be, but it's something
I
because
thought
that's
he
weird.
drove trucks. When is he going to work?
We
Why is it? No, really,
don't
because
know.
that's what they said he did, right? Why is he here so much?
Hey, he wants this reality TV. So I don't blame him. I'm gonna be a reality TV star myself, so I totally get it. But let me go ahead and move on, y'all. So we move on to Destiny.
Oh,
Carlos. He, I don't know what to say. I just don't. So let's go through Destiny's storyline real quick. Let's go through it. So she meets up with, a broker. Because from Destiny's mouth, she's been in real estate for 19 years. You would never know it because she's never publicly spoke about it. But she's had a real estate license for 19 years. And I said, Destiny, at this point, you need to put the receipts on your IG page so I can see it. Because if you was in real estate for 19 years, then what the hell you getting arrested for? Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Because y'all, I did real estate. I know how much a real estate agent can bring in on a month-to-month basis, having the mindset that Destiny has. So she need to show the receipts, Destiny. Show it on your Instagram page. Don't block me. Show it so I can see it, and then I'll shut my mouth up, and I will come on my channel and say, y'all, Destiny been practicing real estate for 19 years, and we just never knew it. Oh, she get on my nerves, Carlos. Why? Why? You know what? Y'all can get on me about wanting Tiffany back all y'all want to in this chat. I would much rather have Tiffany and her messy ass back on this show than to have another season of Destiny. I mean, come on now. Let's move on. So, as you know, the conversation is coming. Martell bring his bald headed ass up in there, and I can't stand him either. I cannot stand Martell either. But they begin talking in this lady's professional office about, what's going on. So apparently, um, he asked how Lance was doing. And I'm like, why are we talking about this man on this TV show? But anyways, he asked how Lance was doing. And she goes, oh, I don't know. Because, last I heard, he had a baby, right around the time of Thanksgiving. And I'm looking like, yeah, because that was never your man to begin with. Of course he had a baby. Of course, y'all not gonna sit up here and act like Carlos. Don't have me do you like I do Mona. Please don't have me do you like I do Mona, because y'all not gonna sit up here and tell me that Destiny and Lance was a couple. I don't believe it. That don't even sound right coming out of my mouth. But yes, he had a baby, and Destiny feels some type of way over it. And then she had the nerve to say that she was getting attacked for Lance having the baby. And I'm like, why would you get attacked for a man that nobody believes that you were with? Him having a baby. What did the attack look like, Destiny? Please inform us what that attack looked like. Because I really want to know what grown person in their right mind, even though people do a lot of crazy stuff online, I'm not disputing that part. But I want to know how she personally got attacked from this grown man having a baby. Okay. Whatever, Destiny. So then, she talks to, Martell, and he says that him and Ariane are officially together. He's putting her through nursing school. And that was, something that I sure missed, because I thought she already did all of that and was a nurse. So that got me by surprise. But then they also bring up, the rumors. And Destiny wants, Martell to chill and move on from the whole Marcel drama. And Martell's like, no, they coming for me, so I'm gonna come for them. We're not gonna do that. Like, I've been taking shit for years. So I'm gonna come after them. And so Destiny's like, yeah, but you better than that. Like, you used to be a boss. You used to be out here making it. And I said, Destiny, no, correction. The lady he was married to was the brains around the operation. He was just the person that could do the physical work and used her name for the attachment, just like she had the builder's license that he needed in order for him to go and build the homes they were building when he was making it. So let's get some shit correct here. Because once she left him, he was scuffling. So someone who was a boss wouldn't be scuffling like that and using everybody else's builder license to make sure he got some income coming in. So come on, let's not do that. So, that was pretty much the conversation. So Mrs. Best, I have a couple of questions for you. So one, how did you feel about Destiny's return and her venture into this real estate thing and all that? And my second question is, how do you feel about Martell now going public with Ariane Curry?
As for Destiny being a real estate agent, I'd like to announce today that I've decided that I am now an astronomer. That's my response. As for Martell and Ariane going public with the child they made in sin, and then her being called a peasant for it, if Trump can be president, then anything is possible. That is my response.
Ooh, you took me out with that. I got to catch, girl. I'm hurting. Damn.
I'm looking at stars. I'm studying shit.
Good for you.
Why is she here? Like, I would say I respect her for like being willing to do career paths, but it looked like she needs to go get assessed by a mental health clinician, because she keeps starting shit she's not finishing and then making excuses for why she's not finishing it. And as Kevin said, last season you were so impacted by Moses and the forehead, but now you're impacted by somebody else that you wasn't with having a baby. You said yourself Lance wasn't applying pressure the way you wanted. She said something about him at the
beginning,
implying that they wasn't talking like that. So if y'all wasn't talking like that, then he has the time to go sleep with somebody and potentially make a baby. Like, I don't understand why. This is why I don't like this show, y'all. I'm solely here because I love and respect James Jackson as a person, an author, and a friend. This is exactly why. Shit like this. Like, why is she here? Why is she here? And then you had a real estate license for 19 years. 19 years. Then why are you in somebody's jail every other fucking Sunday is seen with a new mugshot? I don't understand.
It's been alleged it's fraud. Like,
I genuinely don't understand. It's the insult to people who really do like work hard and give like life and work and their efforts their all. Like, I don't get why she's here. I feel like Carlos is like Tyler Perrying us with her. Like, we just have to see a black woman in a negative light, because there's no way for me to like view her positively, and that's not fair to her. But look what she.
Like Jay Alexander said, I would respect Destiny more if she went and got a 9-to-5 and showed us she was working in order to pay her bills like an adult. Not everyone has to have a business. Exactly my point. And this is another time. Yes, this is what happens. Because to me, that didn't make any sense that she even said that. Because first of all, that's not how you even came on the show. like, come on. I can't with Destiny, y'all. I try. Every season I try with Destiny. I do. But she always pulls some fuck shit. And I'm like, Destiny.
I just don't think she's meant for reality TV. No, and sometimes when people just may not be meant for, TV, they could come across as a certain way when really it may not even be her fault. But I don't think she needs to be on TV.
She don't. And that's the thing, because to me, she's not authentic. She really is showing her colors. And it's like, ma'am.
She's not the love or the marriage part. She's just a bitch from Huntsville. So she can let her be. She don't have to be on TV. I feel like if she was off of this show too, she might be more focused. Not delivering lottery tickets.
Wait a minute, Charlene. Wait a minute. That one took me off by surprise. When did she do this? Because I need the article. That is hilarious. Wait a minute. Come on, wait a minute. Hold on. Destiny lowered her candle price over $60. Destiny
$60.
Destiny's website. Hold on. I got time.
God.
I got time. What is Destiny's? It's Madani website. Hold on.
Who is spending $60 on a candle? My husband is laughing in the background. Like, what is she talking about?
Wait a minute. I need to see proof of that. What's Destiny's website called? Destiny's website. I will put that shit up right here. And yes, y'all Mrs. Beth. And every time I tell her, you be going in on people, she's like, no, I don't.
Because I'm a nice person. But she is. I'm a bitch from Oakland. She's a bitch from Huntsville.
Oh my God. You just Shana. Thank you. What is you on public assistance for? You got a whole real estate license. Why your ass didn't go to work?
Damn.
Oh my gosh. 64 is called Madani Beauty, because I'm gonna blast her ass right now. Hold on.
The way the comments are clocking her, I guess nobody really feeling Destiny. She's not even from Huntsville.
She sure ain't. Where them candles at? Hold on.
$64.99.
Wait, I got to see this. Shop. Let me go to shop. Hold on. Oh, I'm not even sharing my screen with y'all. Sorry.
Why did Kevin say it better be a 5-wick candle?
It better be. It better be. Hold on, let me find this shit real quick. Where is it at? Shop. She ain't got the 4 products. Where did you? Oh, this is the candle. I didn't even know that was a candle. There it is, y'all. Madani Reignite candle. $64.99.
What? And that's before tax.
And that's before tax. Let me see. Does it say it's a 5-wick candle?
If anybody buys this with Shop Pay, I'm a backhand you personally. I'll take a flight.
Sit back, relax. What does it say? Slow burning, luxury, eco-friendly, toxic, sophistication design. It don't say how many wicks it is, and I can't tell from the picture.
You cannot make a candle eco-friendly.
I think that's a 1-wick, ain't it? That's a 1-wick candle, ain't it? There's only one little flame. She got to be like.
She doesn't give us a scent.
She doesn't give us a scent. It doesn't say. I done read this whole shit.
Oh wait,
Oh no, here it is. Here it is. No, I'm sorry, Destiny. That shit too expensive.
it
Too,
smelled
too
like an
expensive.
orange. You could go peel some oranges or open up
And
some
boil
orange
them.
juice, leave it in front of the fan, and you'll get the same scent. Ain't no way.
Destiny, come on now. Come on now.
Her and Sheree should partner up just to see how much trouble they get into.
Oh my gosh. Wow, y'all. Wow. That took me for a loop right there. I did not know she was charging that much for
$100 for a
oh
candle in this economy.
right.
And you would think with her being in the South, like she would have more, like that's what I would expect to see out of somebody in California, like delusional, you know. But like, girl,
This is it, Shana, right? For me. Exactly. I can go to Bath and Body Works every weekend for real.
get you a candle for
Um, before she
14.99.
came back to the show, she was driving around delivering lottery tickets. I don't like what she did. She really was over there delivering lottery tickets, like for real, like an Uber Eats driver. Like, is that wow? Y'all ain't right for real. Because I'm like, that's how I feel. Because I'm like, no, there's no way. I'm sorry. I get e-commerce. You kind of have to hike up your prices a little bit because you want to make a profit. But no, 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 no. I'm sorry. $60 is crazy. When you was up in when you literally had a storage unit making this. No, I'm sorry. Destiny, no. No,
I'm gonna
no,
say
no.
this because me and my husband was looking into merch a little while ago for our
Mhm.
brand, and I could get candles, shirts, mugs, all the same shit I be seeing. It look like from the same vendor as them. I could get all of that made and would sell it for like maybe nothing past 25, $30. So I be looking at these people on the shows like y'all really just be upcharging, just
I'm just
taking
saying, like,
advantage of people.
how about Kenneth and Karen first? I'm just saying.
When is she getting out?
They said it should be out this year, I think, by Thanksgiving. I think that's the last I read.
That's good. I bet you she'll never drive drunk again.
You still have to pay. Yes, like I'm sorry, you're not. I'm telling you, you can actually. You can make you can make that same candle for less than $20
My
if you got a good
sister
crock pot.
actually
Yeah,
my sister sells candles on Etsy and
yeah,
hers are only $10 and she makes
yeah.
them.
You can make a whole bunch of candles for less than $20. So Destiny got here with it. I can't believe how I lost my place on the show because I am so flabbergasted by that. I did not know she was doing that. Okay, we're gonna move
It's
on, y'all. So the next scene we have is a scene with Trish and Ken driving their little truck and talking about Marquez. I don't really care. Do you care to talk about that scene, Mrs. Best? I'm gonna move on.
no.
Okay, we can move on. That was Trish and Ken, y'all. So the next thing we talk about, we have a scene with Nell and Chris Fletcher. They're at the house. From what we understand, not only did Lance have a baby, but their son Chris had a baby as well. So they kind of had babies around the same time. And Nell was saying how Lance is really looking exhausted from, this last baby. I guess it's a lot on him. So she was like, I need to talk to him to ask him if he needs help or anything because we only see each other in passing. He's like, yeah, it is a lot. And he's like, I'm gonna also tell you, I invited Martell over to the house. And Neil said, what'd you do that for? And what we learned about this whole situation is that, and I had forgot this happened, y'all. I'm so sorry. This show can be forgettable at times. But the situation where Nell was in the picture with Ariana and they show the picture of them shaking hands, Nell had went on live and said that she felt bamboozled by Martell and that this was something that he did. And remember, this was the stamp that made her fall out with Melody. She can't say that publicly on the show, but she said in the live that Melody and her are not speaking right now. So she doesn't know if this is what caused it, which I'm pretty sure it is. But she Kevin,
Sorry.
Kevin.
I'm gonna mute myself.
I mute myself. It did give like I done worked a long day. This a new wig, and it was supposed to be a cute style, and I just sweated the shit out. It did look like that. I'm not gonna even lie. Now, don't ever wear that wig no more. Just don't wear that wig no more. I want a lot of y'all women to go back to y'all natural hair. I just do. Go back to your hair, get y'all the silk press, and just call it a day if you really need it to look like that. 'Cause that just look crazy as hell. But
Not in
Martell
this humidity.
well, hell, shit. It would look better than what she had on her. It looked like she didn't even brush the wig at all. She just threw it on her
I
head.
think she tried to like tie it up, but it did scare me.
It was crazy. It was like I know, and then it looked heavy as hell on her head because she looked like she could barely hold her head up. It's like, damn, come on, stop it. So Martell come over there, and they address the whole situation, and she said that she asked Martell flat out, "Did you have something to do with that picture?" And Martell said, "No, I had nothing to do with that picture. If I had something to do with it, I'd have told Flex, and we would have laughed about it and everything." And they both look at their head there, trying not to laugh at this scene. And I was trying not to laugh too, because I said, Martell, even I wasn't convinced that you didn't have nothing to do with it. You had something to do with that picture. Stop it. Because who the hell gonna take a picture of Nell and Ariana shaking hands? Like, why would that be pertinent to anything? Come on now. Let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. So, Martell, after, confirming with him, he said, I feel like I need an apology for being blamed for that. And I said, wow. You need an apology for someone accusing you of taking a picture of your girlfriend and Miss Nail and her getting upset because she felt like it could have been you. Meanwhile, you in the background of the picture looking, trying not to make it, but couldn't hide your face because you felt like the plan worked. Okay, Martell. Okay, fine. It is what it is. And to me, hold on. What you saying, Kevin Reynolds? Remember Sigmund the Sea Monster by Sid and Marty Krofft? This is now reincarnated. So if you don't, Kevin, if you don't stop, it was yeah, it was a lace front. We've seen Nell get her wigs applied on national TV. We didn't need to see it because they panned down on her toes, and Mrs. Best couldn't get past that. But
leave me alone. I'm sitting in silence.
but yeah, it's a lace front. Absolutely, it was a lace front wig. It was a terrible one at that because she actually had bangs and stuff. But yeah, but anyways, I know what you meant, Kevin Reynolds. But anyways, y'all. So then they start talking about this whole situation, and like with Destiny, they felt like he needed to, let that go as well. Because to me, if you're trying to rebuild your life and trying to rebuild what you have and everything, then you need to let that circumstance go. Like, it is unfortunate that they went out there and blasted you and outed you. And to me, I feel like if the circumstances weren't true, then what are you hollering for? A hit dog gonna holler. So what are you hollering for? If what they're alleging about you is not true, then what are you complaining for? So yes. Hold on. Why was Nell shaking her hand through everybody knowing to get the play when someone you don't like? Well, right, exactly. That's me. I can't stand when black men talk down about black women. I mean, we don't like it either, but Miss Nell make it easy. I'm so sorry.
Nell looked crazy.
I'm sorry. Like, I get what you're saying.
She did. She
That
looked
wig
crazy
was
in the
terrible. I'm
scene.
sorry. That look. And Miss Nell, I call her the Black Snooki. I do, because she reminds me of Snooki. When Snooki used to wear that big ass poof, that's what she reminded me of. I didn't watch. I'm only here for the review. I don't think I'm going to watch the show anymore. I'm not interested, you guys. And that's fair. That's fair because it's hard because at the end of the day, the only thing I feel like a conversation was had that took up the majority of this review was Trish and Ken. That's it. I feel like the Scott's not going to give. Nell and Chris, I feel like are going to get blamed for a lot that they probably had nothing to do with. And I feel like Trish and Ken and this drama with Marquez that she's sitting back smirking on is really what's going to take over this show. And I'm not here for it. Okay, y'all, I get it, but let's not do all that. I mean, we all here for our opinions. We all here for that. So, let everybody get along and stuff like that. And we can't help that Miss Nell want to come out here with big ass wigs and shit and wanted to put it on her head, and we can't help but look at it. But anyway, John, let's move on because that's all I'm gonna. Did you anything you want to mention about Kristen, Nell, and Martell, or anything of that?
I do feel like Nell needs to be accountable She could have easily went the other way once she was introduced to Martell's girlfriend. But then at the same time, Melody did leave the show, and Martell is still on the show, and Nell's a part of it. So Mel, to some extent, had to expect that Miss Nell and the cast would have to be around the side piece at some point. Like, say hello and move on. It looked like they were like embraced. There was a smile and all of this extra stuff. But this is another reason why I personally thought it was time for Melody to leave the show, because it seems like she expects everybody to side with her, not talk to Martell, not talk to people. And that's unrealistic on a show. So that's all I really had to say about it. Why did we get so much of Martell?
I don't know.
I felt like Martell was in every single scene.
I mean, there was a couple scenes he wasn't in, which was the Scott scene, and then Trisha Marquez, and Ken. Oops, Trish and Ken and Marquez. Sorry, y'all, I had to correct myself, even though I feel like that's the way it should be. But anyways, we're gonna move on. But speaking of Trish, the last thing we're gonna get to, Trish is talking with her girlfriend Sharon. Sharon come up in there, and they're talking about everything that's going on, and apparently she didn't know that Marquez had moved back. She had got that from Ken and everything. And as soon as they're deep in conversation, from what I understand, Marquez could just walk through the door, or was that production? Because I'm trying to figure out how he even got inside of the house and how he felt so comfortable enough to walk in. I feel like production set him up, and that's why Trish didn't really make a big spectacle. Because I felt like she would have went off. I do. I feel like she would have went off if he just randomly just walked in her house. I don't feel like she would have been that calm. It could be Mrs. Best. Do you feel that way too? Because I kind of felt like she was way too calm for me. I feel like production told him to come in.
Who, Marquez?
Yeah.
This is my thing. They're going to lean into this storyline thinking that all of the drama is going to be like entertaining, but it really was cringy for me because I'm like, the kids being involved and stuff, like it's just a cringy situation. I do feel like production is like heavily involved with anything we see with Trish, Ken, or Marquez. Mm-hmm. I just feel that way. I feel like that's part of why they were put onto the show or added to the cast as full-time members, so that production can have a piece and a hand in what they do. Because I feel like they want to keep the original cast members, but I don't know. I don't really care for these people.
Kiwan is reading my mind, because at first I thought Marquez was tripping. I did. I was like, why is he tripping? Then when I watched it the second time, I said, oh no, Sharon tripping. So he comes in there and she goes, oh, well, Marquez. Oh, I'm Sharon, by the way. And he was like, and he was caught off guard. He was like, do I know you? She goes, no, you don't know me. I'm her friend. And it was like, Sharon, hold on. Why are you coming with that kind of energy and you don't know this man? And he just walked into the room. Now, whether there was something said before that, I don't know because of how they edited it. So I could be wrong about Sharon. But Sharon came with that energy right away. So whatever Marquez was giving her, it was warranted. And for Trish to say, I'm mad because you don't know Sharon. And I'm like, well, Trish, Sharon don't know him either. But she felt a way to make her presence known and to introduce herself, which you could have been the one that did that. So I didn't mind him actually speaking to Sharon like that, because I felt like Sharon was out of line.
Sharon was way out of line. Like, you don't speak. First of all, you in somebody else's house. You don't greet their guest any kind of way. Second of all, if you care about your friend, regardless on how you feel about your friend's baby daddy, who's still her husband, you would show the nigga some type of respect or shut the fuck up. But she sat there and she kind of had an attitude like she had the right to question somebody that Trish has been with since high school, since before she was even fully developed. You don't get to have a comment. And that's what I mean. Like, you got to be careful with your friends. You could be supportive of people, but don't jump into people's drama. So I wasn't mad at Marquez, but then at the same time, after so long, I did look at Marquez James. Like, why are you arguing with this woman?
Oh,
Stand
I mean,
down.
yeah, I did say that too. Like, why are you arguing with this lady? Like, it doesn't make a difference. But then I'm just so caught off guard by the fact that she felt so comfortable to insert herself when you just said you don't know this man. And I don't like when women do this. She was giving him passive aggressive energy from jump, and then when he met her with that energy, then it became oh, why are you talking to me like this? You don't even know me, and this and this. Now I'm just like, well, you met him with that energy. So if he wanted to give it back to you, you should be able to expect it. I don't think we live in a time anymore where men just took things from women and that's just what it is and they just walked away. We don't live in that time anymore, y'all. I'm sorry, we don't. But that should be the correct thing to do is to walk away and let someone else handle that. But we don't live in that time anymore. Men snap back now. Men snap back and sometimes with the quickness. So I wasn't mad at him. And I felt like so the conversation kept going on between Marquez and he then directs it back to Trish. She goes, look, I just came to drop my daughter off. I wasn't here for all of this and everything. She goes, well, why do you have her? Like, didn't Xavier tell you to go get her? And as they're going back and forth, the son walks in. He says, Dad, just go outside. I'll be right there. Dad, go outside. And Marquez is still trying to get his point across, still trying to say Trish is ruining the kids, and Trish is feeding into it. She goes, ruining the kids. Xavier, come down the stairs. Xavier. She just kept calling her son's name, and I'm just like, oh my god, y'all, they are both equally as toxic. I just cannot with them. So he walks out of the house finally, and she just like, oh my god, like she's just frantic. And I'm sitting there looking at Trish like a part of the problem, a lot of the problem is Marquez, but some of the problem is Trish too. And the problem with Trish is she knows how to push his buttons and egg him on because she know he not all like he didn't mention on Dr. Heavenly's live his disorder, whatever he has. And I think she plays on that. I do. I think she plays on that. She tries to get him flustered and confused. And then he goes off the deep rail. And then she sits back and smiles and acts like she didn't do anything. I do think a lot of it is her. I do. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to put that on women all the time. She can't, he's grown at the end of the day, so he should be able to conduct himself. But at the end of the day, he's human and he can be triggered too. And I don't think that that's fair for her to do
That's
that.
important because Trish wants everybody to acknowledge her triggers, but she doesn't want to acknowledge at all that regardless of Marquez maybe not being the financial provider that she wanted, he's still a human who cared about her. So it's like he has triggers, he has feelings, and she's kind of like, whatever, he'll get over it. You let us know that you agreed and discussed him leaving the house because you wanted to figure stuff out just for you to get with another nigga, move him in, have him doing shit for your kids, and then publicly humiliating him by telling the world what little he does. So I feel like Trish doesn't pay attention to her part in things, which is normal when you're like going through a toxic situation or a breakup or divorce. But that's why I also am strong in my opinion that these people don't need to be on TV because she's
Mhm.
not going to behave in the way that we would want her to because she going through whatever the hell she got going on in her mind. And then Marquez, he just a regular person who's now on TV trying to compete with this big ass man on steroids. So it's just a lot.
It is a lot. It very much so is. Let me read some of these comments really quickly because some of y'all are saying some crazy things. Let me see what it is here. Shane, I'm starting with you. That love triangle needs this money. This could be their last season if this is all they're going to discuss. I agree. Supposedly Trish and Kim broke up at some point, and yeah, we know in today's time they're back together. So that was for nothing, pretty much. I think Trish and Marquez need to do better with co-parenting. I agree. And Marquez come walking in that lady's house unannounced. Excuse me, sir. I agree. That was crazy. But I feel like once again, I feel like production set him up because at the end of the day, Trish's response to it wasn't like how I think she would have responded if there weren't any cameras. Marquez is very immature, or immature very. I agree. Just like Tisha wanted to be her mouthpiece, Trisha wants anyone to be her mouthpiece as it relates to Marquez. I agree with that too. Okay, I don't know if he was agreeing with her or if, yeah. I don't know what was going on there. Um, and I agree with this too. They are equally to blame
That's so
for this
true.
situation. They are very equally to blame, which is why I don't understand Kim. Because if he really was objective the way he's coming off, he will understand that a part of this is Trish too. versus it all being on Marquez. And that's why I said there's something not right with this situation. It may not be as dark as I'm trying to make it to be. It may not be like that. But what I'm saying is it's weird when you're okay, when you're objective and can see both sides, you will equally see it's both of them. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I just think for me, but I feel like she's playing a game. I do. I feel like she's playing a game. And I feel like because he's not in tune with himself, he's falling for everything. And it makes him come off crazy. And he may actually be it. But at the end of the day, she's
I think
equally to blame.
he truly doesn't seem. I think when he got with Trish in high school, I don't think he ever really like emotionally developed from that point based on how he navigates stuff. But they're gonna wear us out this season. I can feel it. I don't know how you're gonna do stuff with your surgery and the lives if you're gonna come back and cover it.
What
I
happened?
wouldn't blame you if you did not cover this during your surgery.
I'm not covering this. Yeah, no, I am. For those of y'all who do not know, because I said it in the beginning, for those of you guys who are just getting here and may not have heard my disclaimer, I am going to be having I had got injured at work, so I am going to be having surgery this week. So I will be gone from my channel for a little bit while I recover. So directly speaking, this happened at the worst possible time because this show has come back and I just started King's Court as well. So I am going to be on a little hiatus from both my channel and Mrs. Best's channel. So I will see where this is, and if I do make up episodes, we will see. But yeah, I'm going to be gone for a little bit, you guys. I'm so sorry, but yeah, I will be gone for a little bit. We will see what happens. But that was the end of the episode. What y'all say in these comments? What Shana say? If Kim admits that Trish is playing a part, then he would have to admit she doesn't have any to marry him. True,
Yep.
true.
He
Thank
knows
you
it
so
though.
much. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm praying for a speedy recovery as well because I cannot afford to be off of work like this long. So, yes, let's hope for that. But thank you guys so much for being here. I have one more live to do, which is Next Gen NYC. And then tomorrow we will be doing Real Housewives of Atlanta and King's Court on my channel. So I have 2 lives tomorrow because that comes on tonight, as well as Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, I'm making it. I am. I was supposed to reach out to you. I'm sorry, Shana, but I'll text you in the chat in just a moment here. But thank you so much for everyone being here. I see a whole bunch of people are watching. Make sure you're subscribed to me. I know I have a few people who are new commenting to my channel. I hope you're subscribed to me as well. I appreciate your participation in my live and everything. You guys are great. I will see you guys on the next recap. I will try to be here as much as possible. But thank you guys so much for being here. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.